Okay, I want to talk to you about your diet. Patients come in here and they're looking to do procedures to lose weight or to do some body changes or do some body sculpting, but we have to first focus on weight loss if you have a problem with your weight. Now there's multiple diets that will work. There's Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and Nutrisystems, and they're all working. I'm not disputing or discounting any of those weight loss programs. They all work. But I have a diet that you can follow that will work 100% of the time, I guarantee it. Okay, it's very simple. Now we're going to talk a few things about nutrition and some facts to explain why this diet will work for you every time, and then talk about it more specifically. Okay? So when we're sleeping at night, our body's burning fat. We want that. You want to burn fat, you're sleeping, and your fat is keeping you warm, it's allowing you to breathe, and it's consuming calories. That's great. And you get up in the morning, and you have a bowl of cereal, and that stops right now. Fat burning stops immediately, and you won't start burning fat again until you get your heart rate over 120, 130, or you fast for 6 hours. Okay? So that's one reason that we maybe shouldn't be eating carbohydrates in the morning. Now if you're eating carbohydrates, there's some good ones and some bad ones. We'll talk about that as well. But that's one of the basic pretenses of how you stop fat burning. Okay? The second thing is there's certain foods that will cause you to put fat on easier than other foods. If you look at it from a standpoint of what we call thermogenic foods are foods that burn calories while you eat them. That's right, if you eat certain foods, it actually increases your metabolism. Okay? Whole foods are more thermogenic than processed foods. So let's give you a very simple example. Okay? If you take an orange and you peel the orange and you split it apart and you chew it and you digest it, you'll slowly absorb the orange over an hour or so. Versus taking a glass of orange juice and drinking it, you suck those calories up right away. In the case of the orange, you won't get this rise in sugar and you won't store it immediately as fat. You actually use it somewhat in your energy needs, whereas the orange juice turns right into fat. Okay? So I'm not telling you to eat oranges because that's not part of our diet, but that's the basic principle of thermogenic foods and about what's called the glycemic index, how fast things turn into sugar. Okay? So eating a whole food, you digest it slower, you burn more calories to digest it, and you get less net calories, or you actually burn some calories doing it. Also, if you eat foods that are processed or more sugary, you get a sudden rise in your insulin level, which forces the sugar into your fat cells. And we don't want that. You want the fat coming out of your fat cells. So sugar turns into fat and gets stored in your fat cells. Okay, so now let's take another example. You've got, it's in the woods up in Alaska, and you're a bear, and you're hunting around for food, and you're chasing down squirrels and foxes and eating, and your metabolism is high, so you can chase after an animal and hunt it down and kill it and devour it. That bear at that time has a high metabolism. Okay? But once the foxes and squirrels are all going into hiding, it starts eating berries, it starts eating sugars, its body turns into a semi-diabetic and allows it to start storing fat and getting plumped up for the winter to hibernate. Okay? We have that same exact genetic ability. Once we eat foods that are based on hibernation, such as grains and sugars and fruits, we start putting fat on so we can hibernate and get through a winter of fasting. But we're not going to fast. We're going to keep eating all winter, and we're going to get fatter. So we have to change the way we're eating. Okay, so step one is I want you to think about the foods that you're eating and what they're doing to your body. And there's a lot of pleasures in life, and the number one pleasure should not be what you're eating. Hopefully you'll live a longer, healthier life if you eat properly, and you can have other pleasures in life. Okay, so our diet is very basic. We're gonna take our diet and think of it as a lifestyle, what we're gonna eat 6 days a week. And I want you to go ahead and take one day a week as a cheat week. That way you're compliant or consistent the other 6 days a week. So 6 days a week, follow a diet. 1 day a week, eat whatever you want. Okay, maybe don't go nuts, but eat whatever you want. And that way you can put off. You have an event coming up, or say a wedding reception. Obviously, you can't follow a healthy diet at a wedding reception. I know for sure you can't at the airport. I've looked around; they don't have any healthy foods there. And sometimes on vacation, you have to kind of go off your diet for a little bit and just sort of watch it. Okay, but when you're at home, even if you're working, you might have to bring your lunch to work. But I want you to follow 6 days a week. Okay. So these are the foods, the do's, and it's on the list that you have, the foods you can eat. All right, so let's talk about the foods. These are the foods that you can go ahead and eat and lose weight. And then we'll talk about the foods I want you to stay away from when you're watching this 6 days a week. Lean meats. Lean meat would be example, chicken without the skin. White meat is better than dark meat, but just chicken without the skin. Turkey, even pork. These are all lean meats, and obviously not fried. They be baked or broiled. And without the skin. Okay? Fish. Now, there's many fishes that you might think as being healthier fish or not as healthy fish. Fried fish is not a healthy food. Don't eat fried fish. But cod, salmon, tuna, whatever you want, fish. Egg whites. Vegetables, any kind of vegetable that you want. If you have more colorful vegetables and a mixture of vegetables, you'll get all the antioxidants that you ever need. You'll be missing nothing. And legumes, which are beans and peas and lentils. And legumes, which are beans basically, should be eaten at every meal, even breakfast. So for breakfast you might have egg whites and black beans, or egg whites and low-fat refried beans. Okay, so legumes at every meal. We're talking about lean meats, fish, egg whites, vegetables, and beans. Now these are the foods I want you to stay away from. Don't drink any calories. No milk, no soft drink, and no pop. Now alcohol would be okay, especially if it's with a meal, and don't get a sugary alcohol, but like red wine, or even like a vodka with some kind of a mixer. And if you don't drink alcohol, don't start drinking it now. But stay away from all drinking calories with the exception of certain alcohols. What about coffee? Yeah, there's no calories in coffee. Diet pop, no calories in diet pop. We might dispute the fact whether or not you should be drinking diet pop to lose weight. For the purpose of this diet, it doesn't matter. Just don't drink any calories. Okay, so no juice, no milk. Okay, no dressings or syrup. Okay, so if you have salad, don't put any dressing on it, or you can use just plain old vinegar. So the way to get around the dressing on a salad is put plenty of vegetables on it, it'll taste fine. Okay, but salad dressing is one of the most calorie-rich foods you can encounter. And here's a big one that people don't like to do because it's entrenched in our society: no grains. Means no rice, no bread, no pasta, no popcorn, no oatmeal, no bran, no whole grains. Just stay away from grains. In pasta, I carve it out as a separate one, even though that's technically a grain. No pasta. Okay, so for those of you who have a lot of pasta in your diet, stop eating the pasta. Rice and pasta are sometimes ethnic, and those things that make you fat if you take an ethnic food and translate it into American diet, because our portion sizes are so huge. And also we refine everything. And last but not least, no potatoes. Okay, so I want you to stay away from drinking any calories. Doesn't mean you can't drink tea or coffee or diet pop, but don't drink calories. The calorie-free ones are fine. No fruits. Okay, fruits are sugars, so stay away from fruit. No grains, no pasta, and no potatoes. Okay, so no drinking calories, no fruits, no grains, no pasta, no potatoes, and don't drink any calories. If you follow those basic things, you'll lose weight. Again, 1 day a week you can cheat. These are foods that are there on the do list are foods that will make you burn calories, and the ones that are on the don't list will make you store fat. So if you want to lose weight, stay away from the don'ts and eat the do's. If you want to gain weight, eat the don'ts, and obviously you don't want to do that. And that's the basics of the diet plan I'm recommending. If you're on Weight Watchers, you can ingrain this in the Weight Watchers by counting your points, and you'll lose weight even faster. Typically following this diet, we'll see a man lose between 4 and 10 pounds a week, and a woman between 2 and 6 pounds a week. Okay? And then once you get down to your normal weight, it'll stay there. It won't make you malnourished. It simply will make you at a normal weight. Because we're eating foods that are healthy, that are thermogenic, and make you have a normal insulin level, so they make you have a normal weight. They don't make you malnourished or cachectic, they just make you normal weight. So you can eat that your whole life, you'll never get real skinny, you'll just be a normal size. Okay? It'll make you thin and lose your body fat. And if you continue to eat a standard American diet, we're going to have problems. And that is a diet, and good luck.